Hello everybody, I'm Gavin and I am the British Bookworm. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I am a very avid reader, hence why I've set up this channel. I'm going rough and ready today to review the last book I've just read. I've nipped back from work today in the northwest of Lancashire and I'm desperate to do this book review because I want to keep them flowing and keep getting these book reviews online and improving and developing my reviews and my channel. So again, I'm ad-libbing this today. I haven't planned what I'm going to say about the book that I've just read. However, I've thought about it a lot while I've been reading the book. So here we go. Today I'm reviewing this bad boy. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Now, this is a very, very famous book, and it is one of the most recommended books probably in the world for those who are into personal development and personal progress. Just going to move the camera a little bit. So today I'm reviewing this, and I'm going to say that I've been wanting to read this book for years and years and years. In one of Tim Ferriss' books, which I haven't reviewed on here yet, he interviews famous people and very successful people, and one of them is the book that you would gift, and this is one of the most commented about books in his big book of interviews with massively successful people. This is one of the most suggested books, gifted books there is out there. So he did several books which I will put on this video because I've just literally ordered the rest of them myself. And basically, what is it about? So one of the reasons why I never really bought this is because it does sound kind of like manipulative and kind of, yeah, not my bag. I thought it was a bit like probably full of shit and not something that I would be overly interested in reading, really. But after many people recommended it to me and many comments on it about, you know, YouTube channels and other writers and other books, it comes up a lot. It comes up everywhere. So I bought it, and it's been on my bookshelf like many books, waiting to be read and waiting to influence and have an impact. Now I read a lot of different books. My brain, I would wish it was more sponge-like, but I try to read and learn about as much as I possibly can on as broad as possible as I can with the time I have. Now this book, it's one of them books that, and I'm sure that Dale Carnegie's other books, in all honesty, I wish I'd read it. I'm 43. I wish I'd read this when I was 16. I wish I'd read it when I was 20, when I was 22, when I was 26. I wish I read it when I was 30. Basically, I recommend it to you as a life-changing, life-enhancing, life-improving book. I was going to continue and say, because I read so many different things, I try and learn about a lot of different subjects and try and engross myself in studying and learning and knowledge. A lot of my books can be kind of a bit more serious, more twisted, more dark, more controversial, more, you know, thoughts on different subjects like climate change, which are, you know, very controversial. Half of the population think one thing, half the population thinks something else, but the mainstream media might try and make out that everyone has their opinion. They are the ones that put the magnifying glass on a certain topic, criteria or subject, and they'll try and guide you to make you think that you believe that the rest of the population believe that, like 98% or whatever believe it, when only half of the population actually believe it. That's the kind of shit that goes on in the world. So when you come to a book like this, it's a really big breath of fresh air. It's a really nice book for me to review. So it's basically life skills. It's about life skills that every human being, in my personal opinion, should be taught from school. And it's about appreciating many elements of soft skills, we call it in the fitness industry, of how to interact with human beings. Now, we take it for granted. It's like running. I'm going through David Goggins' book at the moment on the audio book, which is one of the next books I'm going to review. And he talks about how this is something that used to irritate me massively as a personal trainer that's really gone into things in very in depth, and running was one of them. Most people that just go out running, and David Goggins talks about how Navy SEALs just run, people in the military just run, but those who do ultra marathons, they go into the science of the movement, the biomechanics of it. And so something as simple as running, that we grow up to learn to run, doesn't mean you run right. And why I'm using that as an analogy or an example is it's the same for life skills. Just because we're brought up and not taught things, we take certain things in life for granted. And some things are common sense, but common sense, just because things sound so obvious, that like all psychology books, just because things sound obvious doesn't mean that they are easily applicable or that we can implement them. Now, why I love this book and why I think this is a life-changing book, it was written, by the way, in the 1930s, so it's from a total different generation. And what's one of the most incredible things about it is it's written from around the 1930s period, and yet it is 100,000% practical for today. And so if you are a person who's wishing to develop themselves like I am, and wishing to improve themselves on a day-to-day basis, if you're wishing to develop yourself as a human being, as an interactive human being, as a person, this book should be on your bookshelf. And I do recommend, even though I haven't read them, his other books, because they'll be of the same ilk. It is incredible how basic but how powerful some of the as soon as I started reading this, there are soft skills that I used as a fitness instructor and personal trainer. I've used all my life to what I personally think is a reasonably decent level based on my own life experience and education. But having read this and having things that are soft skills re-highlighted to me, I've gone out there and applied them, and I've had instant change in how I interact with people. I've had an instant change in how people respond to me, and I can't say enough about this book. When someone like Warren Buffett says Carnegie changed my life, I have to second, third and fourth that comment. I think this is a life-changing book. Even if it's just this book, I don't know about his other books, and I'm sure they're going to be just as good, but this is a life-changing book. Whether you are a police officer, whether you're in the military, fire brigade, personal training again, any category, I would highly recommend this book to you. It's a book about how to talk to other people, how to understand other people, how to come across to other people, how to appreciate other people, how to understand the way your impact to them changes. And some of the things are in it are obvious, but sometimes we need fucking reminding about that shit. We aren't the center of the universe. Every human being you meet, they're only interested in themselves. Nobody is interested in you. And once you realize that, you can totally change how you interact with other people, because people want to talk about themselves. People want to be on opposite. People are only really interested in themselves, no matter how good they get across that they can listen about your life, about your interests. Every human being is only interested in their own experience, their own existential experience, what they need, what they want. Do they need to go to the bathroom? Do they need some water? Do they want a cup of tea? Do they need sex? Do they find this person attractive? Are they happy in their career? Are they pissed off today? How can life go easier today? Why are they pissed off today? People are only interested in their own existential experience. And this book goes into how you can use that as one example, how people respond to you based on how you transmit. Now I know that sounds really obvious to anybody watching this. It sounds like common sense, but it pisses me off when people come at that and say, well, yeah, I know all that techniques, I apply them techniques. No, you fucking don't. You might apply some of the techniques in this book because you're intelligent and you're educated, but do you apply them all? No, you don't. Because if you applied all these techniques in this book, you would literally be exceptionally powerful in life. This is about not power in a negative way. It's a very extremely powerful book in how you can improve your life, your levels of happiness by how you interact with other human beings. Hence the title, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Smile at people. listen to people, understand that criticism isn't the right way, avoid arguments. And I know that this sounds like obvious common sense, and people with that sort of little arrogance that are in them that they don't want to admit to, that little arrogance, won't want to read this book, won't want to buy this book, won't want to take my advice and say, this book is, I don't care who you are, I don't care what standard or level you're at, this book will be for anybody. And even if you are someone who's a high-flying individual, this book is brilliant, and it's going to get a 5 out of 5 from the British Bookworm. It's going to get a massive 5 out of 5, and I'm sure his other books will get the same kind of score. It really is an incredible book. It uses really good examples of stories of how people applied certain things, how people tried certain tactics that weren't, not tactics necessarily, but how they were behaving, trying to sell somebody something for years and years and years. And then they realised they went on a Dale Carnegie course back in the 30s or 40s, and it literally helped them become successful because they came to understand that it wasn't about their wants and their will, it was about the other person's world, the other person's reality. As human beings, we are so selfish, we're so indulgent, self-indulgent, we are so self-obsessed, we're only interested in ourselves. And yet, as soon as we transfer that from being all about ourselves to opening up like a flower to the rest of the world and saying, you know what, I can be better when I open myself up to other people's needs, other people's wills, other people's wants, listen to other people, compliment other people, understand other people, smile at other people, love other people, be genuine with other people, be sincere with other people, be open to other people, want the best for other people, want other people to grow, want other people to be rich, want other people to be successful. Once you understand that to be avidly passionate about other people's life, about getting the best out of other people, about seeking to grow and use techniques that are basically like shining a light on a seed and letting the flower grow. Once you understand that the life is not about just like pummeling through, and that there are soft skills that are incredibly powerful. Now, is it manipulative? You could throw that into the works and say, well, it's a bit manipulative, that. But no, I really think that I could see why you could argue that, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't buy the book for many years. But I can't really argue that it's manipulative, so it's bad, because you're basically opening up yourself by these techniques, and you have to be sincere. I'll answer that question or that point, a point of reference to, and it was a negative to the book about it. It's not manipulative because it's sincere, and you can't use these techniques unless you're sincere and really wish the best for other people, and that your techniques, though the soft skills that you apply, which are many in this book, if you apply even 5 of them and you practice 5 of them throughout your day, your life will be radically improved. And I can tell you for a fact that this book has changed my life, and it's 2 weeks ago. I started reading it 2 weeks ago, and I've realised that the things that, because everybody else does certain things, we all fall, as we grow up into adulthood, we all start behaving a set way. Society is influencing us, like the Lucifer effect taught me, and will teach you if you haven't read it, that we're all influenced by sociological elements of society around us. And so we all start acting and behaving a certain way, and then we stop deciding or wishing to behave in ways that are better or in ways that are more productive. And so some people, I met many really cool people, have the ability to sort of stay above all that shit and not pull down, but the majority of people are really sucked into the kind of very dark, brought down levels of interaction skills, communication skills, self-judgment, judging others, not self-judgment, I meant judging others. And we'll look at the world from a very dark lens, and we're obsessive about ourselves. and we're angry when other people don't do things the way we want them to do it, or we're angry about negative results and we blame the world, and everyone looks around with a very dark expression on the face. Everyone looks pissed off all the time. And then there's some who seem to be stand above it all. Not many, and most people have, not most people, most people would have, or I would say have, some soft skills which they specifically specialise at, whether it's smiling at other people, like people when you go to a shop or a supermarket, and the person on the till might be really beautiful smile, and transmit a positive energy. As he says in this book, I mean, I'm not going to go through any more examples in the book, but like he says, you could hire someone who just smiles, who has a really powerful smile, whether it's a man or a woman, in certain fields, and that in itself is going to surpass background, experiences, qualifications. Certain soft skills are incredibly powerful and way more important than your educational background. But one more thing I'm going to finish off on. Why I love this book, why I think that this book should be taught to all the children as they go into high school. This is far more, as he says in this book, and it's from his own life experience. From Dale, the guy worked extremely hard to be successful, and he built the skills in this book by practicing them himself and developing himself as a human being. And so I would say one of the things that's so powerful about it is you can take a couple of the points in this book and practice them, and just practicing a couple of these and making them kind of like your foundational soft skills, it's life changing. I can't recommend it enough. It's an absolute life changing book. And I don't care what field you're in, I think every human being, whether it's, because of we're all as adults become lazy, we all as adults think it's the other person's responsibility to make the initial greeting, to smile, to listen, to communicate a certain way. But once we use these skills, which by the way, over the course of my own life and my own experience, I've used many of these skills without really thinking about them too much. Obviously, being someone who's been passionate about body language, communication skills, I'm very aware of many of the things within this book. But does that mean that I'm good enough at that? That I've used these skills and I've noticed a massive difference when I shut up and listen to other people? Just shut the fuck up and listen to the other person. Next time you're in a room, stop expecting that them there to listen to you. Just shut the fuck up. If you want to improve your relationships, just shut the fuck up and listen. Stop wanting to talk about what happened to you at work, what happened to you in your race or in your football match. Just go home and listen to, this is to all the men out there, go home and listen to your girlfriend and just shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up and see what happens. Put it on your face that you're listening. Actively listen. And just see your life change. Just do that one thing. If anything else, just if you take anything from this video, just become an active listener. Shut the fuck up. Stop talking with your mouth and use your ears. As the saying is, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use your ears. And stop using your mouth as much. So, on that note, guys, I'm going to leave it. I give it a 5 out of 5. If you've liked this video, subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm very new to YouTube. I'm still developing myself within the context of this channel. That's possibly a good way of leaving this video. I'm literally using this YouTube channel because I feel like I'm being pulled towards basically reviewing books that I'm studying and trying to get as much knowledge as I can about the universe, about life, about humanity, about people, about religions, about all kind of subjects, climate change, with psychology, how to be better. So having said all that, I am saying to you one more time, this is a life-changing book that I believe that every human being would benefit. Fuck martial arts, fuck fitness, fuck going to the gym and healthy eating. This is the kind of nutrient soul food where you get the ability to talk to human beings and see the world through a real lens, which is not self-obsessed. So from that, check out the book, go and read it, get an audible book, and just be open to the fact that no matter how obvious it is, you are not doing good enough. I'm not doing good enough. We all have that ability to improve in our true selves, within how we interact with everybody else. Every human being has a story, and every human being has massive potential, and this book is without doubt a key to human potential of massive magnitude. So with that, I'm gonna go. I hope you've enjoyed this book review. I haven't gone into the specifics about the book, but I'm just sort of giving you a subsurface articulation, hopefully, of it, and I am going to leave it at that. First video, or just run it. I'm not editing it. I'm not doing all this editing shit. The channel is raw as fuck, and that's how I'm going to keep it. So Dale Carnegie, get on this book. Life changing. See you later.